Alright, here's the front differential out of the Summit. We broke, or I broke, no we involved there, the output shaft, where the cog, this guy right there, locks into this part of the differential cup, the actual cup. It locks in there. You got the this little bad boy right here attaches to the servo linkage. And it sits inside the cog. And then when the cog, let's see if we get this on the cup. Box it in. Pretty cool little setup. Till it snaps. That was a good one. But it actually wasn't too hard. Seeing as how I've already torn apart both of my differentials and packed them with silly putty, I'll load it back up with some, what was that, 50K weight diff fluid. Got an extra cog now and an extra pin. And it actually wasn't too hard to tear apart the Summit. Totally different than the Emax though. Weird. A lot of over redundant, but it's more solid, I guess, so stronger to rig. I did notice that all the body mounts, everything uses these thicker ones, thicker screws. Quite beefier, but this thing is quite a big rig compared to the Emax. Front end all torn up. I gotta rebuild here if you want to watch. See if we can set this up. Curved ends go down. See the curve? Very nice. This stuff is so thick. Guess they're thicker though, so I need to redo mine. Take the silly putty and wash those holes. It's recommended you put toothpicks inside your cup, the 4 bolts that hold your differential together. Seeing as how this will be the 4th diff I've opened, I can do away with the toothpicks now. You just have to be careful. Because if you get the diff fluid into those holes, you'll blow your cups out when you tighten them. It's like super pressure in there. No place for the diff fluid to go. It doesn't sneak up upside the threads. Not forgetting anything. This is fun working on a differential. Yeehaw. It's fun when you tear apart your truck too. You find rocks lodged in some of the oddest places. So far both the Emax and the Summit have had pretty good size little rock wedged up next to the differential. As to how they get up in there, your guess is as good as mine. It's probably the stream bashing, kicking up all those little rocks that we did. But we're expecting some rain today. I want to take my Emax out and give it a good wet run over at the stream. I sealed up my tires last night even more. Trying to keep them as airtight as possible. The fronts are having a hard time. I'm blowing out. They're ballooning. Can't keep my finger off the trigger when I flip over. I like trying to spin around or walking my truck down a hill, which is ballooning the front tires because they spin a little faster, freer anyway. Less silly putty in the front diff, so it spins a little easier. Yeehaw, one last. It's a little tedious putting everything back together. I like to go slow. Taking it apart, I just whip it all apart, but I learned that the first time I took my truck apart, I went a little quick putting it back together and had parts put in I shouldn't have put in yet. It was just a pain in the ass taking it all back apart. I had flopped my diff over. Wasn't paying attention. So the tires were working in reverse of each other. Wouldn't go nowhere. So now I pay attention. Probably should label stuff, but I've got a good memory. Let me get this on here. We get the pin, the cog, and we're locked up. Very nice. That bad boy on there. Backwards. Bearings, see? Always forgetting something. Sorry I'm so quiet. I'm concentrating. So here's your little cog slip. This opens it to turn independent from each other. And then when your shit locks up, that's why it clicks in. See, now you learned something new. had it open, so we'll leave it open. No parts left. Seal it up. Thing of beauty. 2 screws. This way. This kind of makes me want to do my diffs on my Emacs. I noticed last night I took my truck out and went on the my little rock crawler area in the garden, and I noticed that they're looser than they were when I first did it. So I had made a mixture of this 50K diff oil and silly putty. So I think this time I'm going to only put just a dab of the 50K in there to try to keep the putty as putty as it can, I guess. Try to keep them stiffer. The rears are still pretty stiff, but I think use some thicker putty in there. Yeehaw. Summit's a cool truck, just a pain in the ass to take apart. Yeah, I guess I'm used to working on my truck. There we go. This is a differential. Putting some of this crap off my hands. So we got diff rebuilt, broken output on the diff lock side, spare parts. It's always nice to have. And one ripped up Summit. My truck's waiting patiently over here. See there? Waiting for runtime. Get the bodies. And I must say they all look pretty good with the new tire and wheel combo. Almost makes me wish that I hadn't cut the fenders off the Rubicon, because now it fits good. But they all go pretty good. The Bug though, that's the one I'm sticking with now. I've made it very, very rugged. I love that dash. I gotta find a dude. I've been looking. My son's G.I. Joes are way too small, and his wrestlers, they don't look right. Something about having a wrestler in there, shirtless and gay looking. Not that anything's wrong with being gay, but just didn't look right. But I'll find a dude eventually, and we'll see how it goes in there. That's all for now. Y'all enjoy.